What if Earth was flat? Consider if the Earth were flat. What might an eclipse look like? Would gravity be the same? What would the passing of the days look like? It takes a lot of imagination to envision a flat planet, but is it physically viable beyond what a certain group of people can imagine? We learn in school that the Earth is only one of 8 planets in the solar system, and that all celestial bodies, including planets, are spherical in shape. However, as spectacular as it may sound, a small group of people now argue that the planet is flat. But what if Earth was flat? Will we perceive any differences from the round Earth? Let's have a look at some of the daily repercussions that would occur if the planet were flat. Hello, gravity. Have you ever wondered why the planets are round? Why are the sun, moon, and stars round? The answer is simple: gravity. As you are aware, gravity is the mysterious force that pushes everything towards the center of the Earth. While gravity is not a force in physics, but rather a deformation of space-time, we can define gravity as a force of attraction that bodies with mass possess. Gravity causes huge celestial bodies, such as planets, stars, and natural satellites, to be round. When a celestial body originates, gravity compels all matter to congregate toward the center, known as the center of gravity. Gravity begins to exert its influence at this center, and because gravity is constant in all directions, the celestial body gradually takes on a spherical shape. So if gravity is the reason the Earth is round, what about the flat Earth? As amusing as it may appear, folks who believe the Earth is flat do not believe in gravity. As you listen, these people consider gravity to be a question of belief rather than observational facts. However, if we believe in reality, the flat Earth would experience gravity as well, despite being a disk rather than a sphere. These consequences would be unusual, to say the least. At a sphere, the center of gravity is at the center, whereas in a disk, it is exactly in the middle. Things would fall towards the North Pole rather than down on a flat world, because that is where the center of gravity is. Can you fathom how chaotic that would be? Nothing would be as we know it. Items would not tumble down, trees would grow sideways, and rain would also pour sideways. Furthermore, the force of gravitational attraction would be so strong at the edges that instead of walking, you would have to crawl as if you were climbing a mountain, making leaving the flat Earth at the edges impossible. Consider that if a flat Earth's center of gravity is at the North Pole, anything not fixed to the ground will gather there, including water and air. That example, on a flat world, all of the ocean's water and atmospheric air would gather in the center like huge bubbles, leaving the locations farthest from the center without water or air. On a flat Earth, Australians and Argentinians would have no access to water or air. Now I understand why some flat earthers opted to remove Australia from the map, so that everything could be explained more clearly. Goodbye, magnetic field. Our round planet has a molten iron and nickel core that rotates ceaselessly, creating a massive magnetic field that covers the entire globe and shields us from harmful solar radiation. But what occurs on the flat Earth? Simple. Such a core does not exist. Flat earthers believe there is no core. As a result, the Earth's magnetic field does not exist because we cannot see it. So it must be a creation created by the elite who do not want you to know that there is no magnetic field, so that they may continue to sell you sunscreen at the beach. Let's get back on the realm of reality. A flat Earth would have no magnetic field. As a result, solar radiation would destroy everything in its path. The absence of a magnetic field would vaporize water, air, and all life on the planet. The few remaining living things would suffer irreversible DNA damage and be forced to survive on a world with no atmosphere, air, or water. Days and nights. As if all of this wasn't bizarre enough, flat earthers believe that day and night are very different from how we know them. Day and darkness on our round planet occur as a result of the Earth's rotation. When it completes a full turn, a day is deemed to have passed. The side that faces the sun is day, and the opposing side is night. Simple and elegant, right? For flat earthers, this is too basic and dull. So they decided to make it more entertaining by shrinking the sun and moon and making them wander aimlessly around the Earth. No, this is not a joke. It's the flat Earth model. In the flat Earth, the sun and moon rotate above the Earth rather than the Earth and the other planets revolving around the sun. But how about the rest of the planets? Well, we'll talk about it later. Let's return to the flat Earth with the sun and moon spinning and apply some science to this model. The sun and moon are always present in the sky in the flat Earth concept, which is rather contradictory because if the sun is always present, regardless of where it is, it would be visible at all times, hence it would always be daytime on the flat Earth. The only way there could be day and night on a flat world is if the sun rises on one side of the disk and sets on the other, but this would fundamentally alter our understanding of cardinal points. The cardinal points of a spherical globe are determined by the direction in which the sun rises and sets, which in this case is east and west. But on a flat world, the sun would rise in the south and then set in the south as well. Because the entire edge of the disk is south, the sun would rise in the south, travel across the north, and then return to the south. Eclipses. Eclipses occur when the Earth, moon, and sun align. If the moon is between the Earth and the sun, it is a solar eclipse. If the Earth is between the moon and the sun, it is called a lunar eclipse. In the scenario of a flat Earth, an eclipse like this would have to occur using the same approach. However, during a lunar eclipse, the Earth's shadow thrown on the moon would be a straight line rather than a circle, as this is the shadow of a disk. The solar eclipse, on the other hand, is even more problematic since, according to the flat Earth concept, the sun and moon rotate in the same plane. So the moon can never be put directly in the middle of the sun and the Earth. Even if it did, under the flat Earth scenario, the sun is so little and moves so quickly that solar eclipses endure only a few seconds. It would not be as spectacular as actual eclipses. Problems with the sun's size. As we have seen thus far, flat earthers have a limitless imagination, but it is not always based on scientific truths. In the flat Earth model, the sun and moon are approximately 50 kilometers in diameter and are located a few kilometers above the Earth's surface, which is absurd given that Hipparchus of Nicaea calculated the distance from the Earth to the moon more than 2,000 years ago and estimated that it was approximately 348,000 kilometers. A calculation quite close to the true one was done by someone more than 2,000 years ago, and it now turns out that the moon is just 50 kilometers in diameter and is placed a few hundred kilometers above us. The problem with the flat Earth concept is that the sun has a diameter of only 50 kilometers. Yet can there be a star that big? In the universe, there exist neutron stars that if possible have that diameter. However, as we all know, neutron stars have an immeasurable mass and generate radiation capable of vaporizing all of the planets in the solar system in seconds. So, except for neutron stars, there cannot be a star the size of the flat Earth model. Even if it did exist, a star of that size at that distance would be enough to burn and destroy the entire planet in seconds. Given that the sun's temperature exceeds 5,000 K and the jets of plasma it emits can reach thousands of degrees, no living being could survive. Not to mention that, even if it was small, the sun would have far more mass than the Earth, thus its gravitational influence would be much stronger, and the flat Earth would be destroyed in the presence of the sun. A small sun, such as that depicted in the flat Earth model, cannot exist. Is the rest of the planet also flat? When we observe all of this, we can't help but wonder, what about the rest of the solar system? Are all the planets flat? Do all planets have a moon and a small sun? After examining all the flat Earth forums, we discovered that there is no consensus on the remainder of the planets. Some flat earthers believe that planets do not exist and are a NASA invention, and that looking through a telescope reveals planets that do not exist. Others believe that planets exist but are flat, and that telescopes make them appear spherical. Others argue that only the Earth is flat, citing observations that Mars is round. This group of flat earthers believes that the Earth is flat because this is what science and observations say. The same research and observations show that Mars is round. Isn't it contradictory? Regardless, we can see that unlike scientists, flat earthers are not well structured and they disagree on many issues. The truth is that this group of people has no valid scientific evidence to justify a flat Earth. People who believe in such things are generally referred to as deniers, because they have no alternative ideas but directly deny the reality in which they exist. They do not comprehend how science works, nor do they want to learn it, because their concept is not based on facts or evidence. Rather, it is based on a profound belief that protects and comforts them by convincing them that they are correct. They deny reality and embrace the illusion in which they believe. This is why it is impossible to debate correctly with a flat earther. Evidence and facts do not work with them because their idea is based on a deep faith that allows them to escape reality and believe they have discovered the truth. No matter how much evidence you present to someone who believes the earth is flat, they will say, "No, I say the earth is flat," and leave it at that. Unfortunately, those who think about these things are more likely to believe in even more nonsensical ideas, such as the non-existence of global warming, viruses, or immunizations that cause harm. That is why we must foster a sense of curiosity in society, so that people doubt rather than deny and think rather than believe. What are your thoughts? Why is there no flat moon society? Please share your thoughts by leaving a helpful comment.